Hey guys, let's try this again. I'm sorry about that. For some reason, I was having some issues with my connection. So hopefully this is better now. So today I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my favorite homemade tonic drink, which is kombucha. If you guys have watched me for any period of time, I'm sure you've heard a little bit about my love of kombucha. I actually have about 7 or 8 gallons of kombucha going at one time at our house, and still it's never enough to keep up with our family. So you're probably wondering, okay, what is kombucha? What are the benefits of kombucha? How do you make kombucha? Those kinds of things. So I'm going to go into that today with you guys. So first of all, let me introduce you to the SCOBY. So the SCOBY is a symbiotic relationship of beneficial yeast and bacteria that come together to make this colony. And it kind of looks like a mushroom. Lots of people will call it a mushroom. It's not technically a mushroom. However, hey Andrea, glad you could come on. It's, like I said, it's a colony of beneficial yeast and bacteria. But what happens is you put them in black tea that is sweetened, and the beneficial yeast and bacteria in the SCOBY help to break those down into a bunch of different beneficial acids, beneficial yeast, probiotics, enzymes, and some vitamins. So one thing I hear often is, okay, how can this be good for you? Because, okay, black tea, lots of caffeine, and sugar. These are two things that my family doesn't do. So you don't need to worry because, like I said, the SCOBY is breaking those down. Hi, Wendy. Glad you could come on. I see Allison on here as well. Marge Kirsten, good to see you. So kombucha is highly beneficial. One of my favorite things about it is it has glucuronic acid. Now, glucuronic acid is a chemical compound that is actually created by our liver. It's what helps to process out toxins in our body. But in the environment we live in, we are constantly being bombarded from toxins, from air pollution to our water and our food. Everything has toxins in it nowadays. So we want to help our body as much as possible with those things. So glucuronic acid, which is very high in kombucha, is going to help our body naturally detox every day and get those toxins out by flushing those out through the kidneys. Okay? Another thing about glucuronic acid is that it is a building block for a number of, let me think what it's called, I always have a hard time with this one, polysaccharides, I think is how you say it, which are essential for our connective tissues, for collagen production in our body, even the lining of our intestines. So very important to overall health and keeping our skin looking nice and vibrant, things like that. So glucuronic acid, like I said, is very beneficial. Also, having enzymes in it, we need plenty of enzymes to break down our food, every day. It's important that we're getting something that's fermented into our diet. As a society, we don't eat fermented foods and drink fermented beverages, and those were the things that have, over the ages, our ancestors have known that those are the things that help us to get the most value out of our food. So I drink kombucha, my kids, my hubby drink kombucha every day, pretty much at every meal, as long as we have enough, So it's very important because of those enzymes. Also, there is a beneficial yeast in there that's called Aspergillosis. And Aspergillosis is so important to your gut health because it competes with Candida for surface area. So you've got the lining of your intestinal wall, and that's where all your probiotics or Candida, any kind of beneficial yeast or bacteria, or the bad ones, are going to live. They have to thrive on those walls. So Espellardi comes in and it actually pushes the Candida off the wall. It crowds it out. But Espellardi only has a 2-day lifespan. So once it dies, it gives that room away to probiotics to spread out and expand and grow and thrive. So very important for helping your body to get rid of Candida overgrowth. It doesn't kill off Candida, okay? I want to be clear on that. It does not kill off Candida, but it competes with Candida, so it's harder for Candida to overgrow in your intestines. So, like I said, the SCOBY sits on the top of the kombucha. It actually, if you were to look inside my crock, I'm not going to do that just because I'd have to move my camera. But if you look inside the crock, it actually completely covers the top of the crock and kind of gets like a webbing that holds all around the sides to make it completely cut off from any air. That's because the beneficial yeast and bacteria are actually anaerobic, and so they need to be in a environment where they are cut off from any air. No, I have not tried kimchi. I really would like to. If you know how to make it, please send me a message. I would love to learn more about it, Linda. That is one of my things I would like to learn how to do. So how to make kombucha. So like I said, I make it in these big crocks. These are 2.5 gallon crocks. So when I get started, I do not want to boil all that water to make the tea, because that would be, you know, like 2 gallons of water that I'd be boiling. So what I do is I just boil 1 quart of the water. I put in 3 cups for a 2 gallons of it. I make 3 cups of sugar. Now, here's something people always say, well, can I use something other than cane sugar? Could I use molasses? Could I use maple syrup? Can I use honey? Yes, you can do that, but you are not going to get the same benefits. You're not going to get as much glucuronic acid or Espellardi. You're going to have to wait until I'm done. Okay?
Can you get out? We won't be behind.
Sorry about that. Kiddo's coming to say, Mom, can I be in here while you're doing the video? No, I will not remember what I'm talking about if you're bugging me. Yeah, mom moment, right? I love my babies, but I can't do live and take care of them at the same time. Just being honest here. Anyway, so I boil that water. I've got 3 cups of sugar in it. Yes, you want to use sugar. You want to be cane sugar and organic. Once it comes to a boil, I'm going to put a 1/2 cup of black tea in there. Black tea, yes, you want black tea. People have asked me a million times, can I use green tea? You can, but you're not going to get the same benefits. We're looking to have this as high in benefits as possible. And what kombucha, the SCOBY, thrives off of, what it is growing off of, is breaking down, it's feeding on the caffeine and the sugar. And so if you want to get those benefits of the glucuronic acid and all the other acids and the probiotics and the Espellardi, you need to make sure you're using organic ingredients, and you're making sure that it's cane sugar and black tea. All right. So I boil that, I put in the tea. I usually do it right before bed. I'll put the tea in there, stir it in, and then put a lid on it and let it steep overnight on my stove. I get up in the morning and I like loose leaf tea because there's a lot more nutrient value in loose leaf tea. You're going to get a lot more bang for your buck in that. So I put it in a almond bag for making like almond milk. You can get these on Amazon. It's just a cloth bag, and I will stick it in my jar to measure out a gallon, and I'll pour that tea through this first strainer and then squeeze it out, and then I'll fill it the rest of the way with my filtered water from my Berkey. A note on water: if you live in the city, you cannot use your city water unless you have it filtered first. You can't have a bunch of garbage in your water, like fluoride. We don't want that in the water. If you have a Berkey, I would recommend Berkeys for filters. Make sure you have the white filter on the bottom that filters out the fluoride. Also, you know, if you have well water, make sure you don't have any, make sure you have tested. I would recommend that because there's so many things like field runoff that you can get in your water and things like that. That's why we have a Berkey, is because we have a really shallow point well. So anyway, getting sidetracked here. Sorry about that. So I will mix all my tea up. I'll put it in my crock, and then I will let it sit for between 5 and 10 days, depending on the temperature of my house. So in the summer, my kombucha gets done in like 5 days. And then I have crocks that have spigots on the bottom. I highly recommend them. Do you have to have them? No, but it makes life so much easier. You don't have a sticky mess when you're bottling up. Also, I highly recommend using wire top bottles because, for one, I recommend that they're dark because that's going to protect all the nutrient value in it, keeping it away from the light. And then also, when you go into second stage fermentation, you're going to want the wire top so that it keeps a good seal and holds it tight even with all the pressure. When I go into second fermentation, once the kombucha is sour enough, it's going to taste like apple cider vinegar, and you're going to be like, oh, I'm not going to be able to drink a bunch of that. So what I do is then I go into second fermentation. I put some juice in it. I use this 7 Superfruits from Aldi's. It's organic, really delicious. And then I will also put in ginger. I prefer organic, fresh ginger root, but I'm all out. I have to go all the way to Appleton to get that, and that's like an hour away. So right now I'm using just ginger powder, but it's very, it gives it a sweet but zippy taste to it. And then putting it in second fermentation, what you're going to do is you're going to have that juice and that ginger all mixed in there, and then you're going to bottle it up in here, and then you're going to put it in the cupboard and let it sit for another 3 to 7 days. Hi, Grandma. So glad you got on here. I see Sandy's on here too, and Katie, Brittany. Sorry I didn't message you more about the kombucha. I'll talk to you some more after this, all right? So then I bottle it up in these, and I let it sit in my cupboard. When it's ready, it's going to be where if you were to take this lid off of here, it's going to explode. I honestly have had it get my ceiling dirty. So when it's ready, what I will do, if you have a wire top, you can just, what they call burp it, by just opening up the side and then just moving it a little bit, and it will fizz. It will, you know, spit at you a little bit, and then I can quick close it before all that pressure comes up. And then I know that it's ready to go in the refrigerator and chill. And once it's chilled, you can open that and you're not going to have it explode on you. Now, when you start out, you don't want to drink too much kombucha too soon because remember, it's helping your body to detox. And if you're detoxing too fast, then you're going to have like flu-like symptoms if you detox too fast. So start out slow. What I recommend is starting out with like 1/4 cup of kombucha when you're first getting started. Once you get going, you know, like we drink through these really, really fast. Anyway, so that's the basics of kombucha and how to make it, some of the benefits of kombucha, that kind of thing. If you have any questions, feel free to put a comment in there. If you guys would like to make your own kombucha, I have written up a document on how to make kombucha. I can send that to you. Please message me in Messenger because I might miss it if you just comment in here. So send me a message if you want to make kombucha and I can send you that document. It's really simple to get started. You can't really, you know, go wrong. Also, I wanted to just touch on what I do with my kombucha as far as hair care. So I'm sure you guys have heard of the no poo hair care idea where you use like the baking soda and then the apple cider vinegar. Well, apple cider vinegar is very acidic. It's very beneficial, but sometimes certain hair types, it actually strips the hair too much and doesn't just get the, buildup from like shampoos out of it, but it actually strips the hair. Kombucha is very similar as far as the, compounds in it. However, it's not as acidic, so it's going to actually be gentler on your hair. So what I do with my kombucha is I have it, I was trying to find it beforehand, but couldn't find the spray bottle. It's probably in my bedroom, buried on my dresser or something. But I have a spray bottle. It's a dark glass spray bottle. I got it off Amazon. And when I get out of the shower, I'll spritz my hair with the kombucha and then just, help get it all into the hair, just rub it all in. And then brush my hair out. And your hair does smell like you're running around, with pickles in your hair for a little while, but, the smell goes away pretty quickly. Once it's dry, you don't smell it anymore. And that really helps to get any buildup of shampoo out of your hair. And like if you have hard water, we have really hard water, so it really helps my hair like just lay right and things like that. So that's really helpful to, overall hair care as well. And anything you can use apple cider vinegar for, you can use kombucha for. I've used it in my salads. You can use it just like you use vinegar for cleaning your countertops. I mean, you can use it for so many different things. But obviously the best of all is drinking it. I absolutely love kombucha, and like I said, I would love to get you guys started on making your own. It's super easy, anyone can do it. And I would also like to just ask you guys to join me next week. Next week I'm going to talk about the most toxic thing in your house. And everybody has it, I'm sure. No matter how crunchy you are, I'm sure you have at least a little bit of this in your house. And, it is terrible for the health of every single person in your family. It's extremely damaging. So please join me next week, Wednesday at 3 o'clock, and I'm going to share with you guys about that. Thank you so much. I see so many people on here. Hey, Amber. Hey, David. I see Bethany's on here. Glad you guys could make it. Mickey, I see you're on here. I have not talked with you in forever. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining me, and you guys have a fabulous rest of your week, all right?